Hello, my name is Michael Stevens, and I wanted to share with you my love and curiosity for understanding the past, the human story. I have watched countless documentaries on ancient structures in Mesoamerica and Egypt and Southeast Asia, and I've read books and I've had discussions and I have just wondered. And then there came a time in my life that, it was just time to go see them for myself. And as a father and as a husband, it's absolutely important for me that I take my family along with me as well, as we all go and see firsthand what this world has to offer, and specifically what the ancients have to teach us. Over the last few years, I got really serious about what I want to do, how I want to spend my time, where I want to go. And part of that list was going to Mesoamerica, Mexico City, and experiencing some of the ancient ruins that are just all around that area, specifically Teotihuacan. For those of you who don't know about Teotihuacan, it's a pyramid city, and as a matter of fact, it is the largest pyramid city in the Western Hemisphere. It's perfectly aligned north to south. These structures are absolutely massive. It looks actually like a computer chip more than a city layout. It's very interesting. And like the pyramids of Giza, there's no hieroglyphs found in Teotihuacan. Nobody knows who built this. Teotihuacan is an Aztec name, and it means the city where men became gods. And Montezuma, the late king of the Aztecs, would visit Teotihuacan as a holy sacred site. Just last week, I took my family down to Mexico City, and what you're gonna see is the footage of our experience visiting Teotihuacan.
So here we are, we're getting ready to get the purple. We're gonna go up. This is pretty amazing, pretty spectacular. I got my partner in crime. So I'm here, I'm at Teotihuacan, and I am staring at the Pyramid of the Sun, and I am happy. I'm happier than a freaking 8-year-old on Christmas Eve. This is amazing. Check this out. So now I'm in the central court area to the pyramid of Quetzalcoatl, all the way down at the far end of the Avenue of the Dead, which I think is 2 miles. Pretty incredible. Everything here is just, the scale is outrageous. No gracias. If you're not familiar with who Quetzalcoatl is, he is the Mesoamerican's chief deity. The Aztecs called him Quetzalcoatl, the Mayans called him Kukulkan, the Incas called him Viracocha. No gracias. The Incas called him Viracocha, and he was a god of peace. He was a god that promoted vegetarianism. He was against human sacrifice. And the story is that he first built Teotihuacan, and then he moved to Tula, which is a little bit farther up, which is the famous Toltec city. And apparently he got in a beef with a contemporary god, a younger god, and he was beat out of Tula. And the story is that he went and founded Chichen Itza. It's very interesting. There's a correlation between Quetzalcoatl and the Egyptian Osiris, possibly being the same person or being Horus, which is the reincarnation of Osiris.
Author Anton Parks believes Quetzalcoatl could have an ancient link to the Sumerian god Enki. Based on his research, he discovered that Enki left Sumer and resided in Egypt. When he came to Egypt, he became Osiris. According to the Egyptian Book of the Dead, Osiris was then killed by Set and resurrected by his wife Isis as the son Horus. Horus then revenges his father's death.
Sumérien et également égyptien, Horus profite de la venue de Vénus dans le ciel pour livrer bataille. Ça, c'est un point
In some Sumerian texts, but also in Egyptian ones, Horus takes advantage of the fact that Venus appears in the sky to start the fight. That is interesting because the link between Horus and Venus is quite clear. Horus manages to defeat Set in an epic battle. When Horus finally defeats Set, he completely disappears from Egyptian texts. I think that I found his trace in America, near Mexico, under the name Quetzalcoatl. I think that he wanted to leave the Sumerian and Egyptian gods' heavy atmosphere to create his own community where he will be called Quetzalcoatl. We also find traces of him a little further down, such as in Peru, under the name Viracocha. I believe when he flees to America, he isolates himself, he transforms into this wise character, has a whole community around him, and he calls himself Quetzalcoatl.
The more I dive deep into the story in the mythology, these stories kind of blend together, and that's what's really fascinating. So here I'm getting ready to climb the pyramid steps. So here we are, the pyramid of Quetzalcoatl, getting ready to climb. So here we are at the top of the pyramid of Quetzalcoatl. And this is the perfect south, so the whole city is lined perfect north and perfect south, and so I'm as far south as can be, and the city is just incredible. So right behind me, you see this, the Pyramid of the Sun. The Pyramid of the Moon is way farther down there. There it is. Then down here you can see the plume serpent, and right next to the plume serpent is Tlaloc, and that's the god of rain, huge deity. And so just seeing Quetzalcoatl and the god of rain right next is just, it's spectacular, and it shows the significance of these two deities. It was amazing.
I had all kinds of expectations. I've seen videos, I've read books, I've looked at pictures, I've had discussions with people who have been there. But going there personally is completely different. One thing that really resonates with me is that this city is advanced. This city was on another level. I felt like I was looking at the ruins of something that hasn't yet been built. It didn't feel old, it felt new, it felt futuristic.
But as incredible as Teotihuacan is, no one knows exactly who built this metropolis or what happened to its occupants.
Teotihuacan, despite its size, has no hieroglyphs whatsoever. There are other cultures in Mesoamerica that were using writing systems. There's nothing like that at Teotihuacan. So we don't really have a clear history of what happened at Teotihuacan, and we can't really find evidence of their rulers.
We don't know who were the original Teotihuacanos. We don't know where they came from. We do not know how they were able to develop a complete, huge, complex citadel in the middle of nowhere and able to sustain thousands of inhabitants.
We have such a sophisticated site that embodies engineering principles, craftsmanship, art. Where did it originate? Where are the smaller versions of this? Well, we don't find any. So we don't have a progression, an evolution to show where this came from. So we have to ask, where did it come from?
We become conditioned to look at these awesome works of stone architecture and think, oh, primitive people did that and they used primitive methods with primitive technology. But we have to rethink the fundamental assumptions and come to a greater and greater level of understanding that the technology required to build these artifacts, in fact, is greater than anything that they possessed.
I've been to 4 Mayan cities in the Yucatan, including Chichen Itza, and they were magnificent. But never did I actually feel like I was in the presence of something advanced, even though clearly they knew some things that we don't know now. But in Teotihuacan, it felt advanced. And whether you accept academia's explanation that the Teotihuacanos built this city 2,000 years ago-ish, or if you accept the opinions of independent archaeologists who have dated the city back to 3,000 to 3,500 years ago, one thing remains very clear. We don't know how they did this. I don't know how they did this. When you go to the city, it is mind-blowing. The scale, the size, the planning it would take. There's no other way that we could do this now without computers, without some type of cell phones or radios to communicate. and clearly without any kind of airplanes or something to fly to survey the land from the air. This place was incredible, and I hope that I can translate some of this incredibleness to you through this video. Thank you.